Hello guys again. So this part is gonna be, I think, quite challenging because now we need to cover the cases where the JSX is either gonna contain some update procedure or just some deletion, and it also need to work with multiple children. So I was thinking about, like, in order to do so, I should have multiple buttons. One of them covers simply some update where the types are aligned, so the other one where the types are not aligned, and the third one with some deletion. Okay, but first let's have a look at what it's gonna do now. So manual re-render is just appends the new JSX. I think that's kind of expected because that's what happened in the previous time when we started doing the whole alternate fiber stuff. Okay, so I wanna rename this with let's call it and actually let's start it with here. So that's gonna be the update type mismatch. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, it works. But I need two more. So this guy is going to be the update same type, and that's going to be the deletion. Okay, also update type update with type mismatch. That just simply will have the name just update with same type, and this is delete something. Okay, I need to append these things to the DOM. Okay, and then we need to create the function. So first update type mismatch. Let's just grab this part. So everything will be a section. And like so, we will have with the same type, sorry. And all of them will be divs. But okay, let's make it somewhat, I don't know, maybe put some style onto it. What's the name of it? Under strike CSS strike through. Is there such a thing? Or is it's text decoration. So text decoration, and this line it should be a string, isn't it? Line through. Okay, and it definitely okay, this probably line through. Okay. Is there a typo here? JS style text decoration. Is it line through? Sorry, I'm a bit confused what I'm doing. It's style. Okay. Okay, it's still not good. So let's get back to the original. Okay, now it works. Okay, so we have line through, and let's put it on to the third one. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to get rid of it, so if I don't put anything onto it, it will be removed, and instead put them to the second and fourth element, just as here. So the only difference between them will be that this is going to be the same type as the original render. Okay, still works. Update. Okay, now it's the time to actually add the event listener. So let's update with same update same type and delete. What's the name of it? Deletion. Okay. Deletion should come here. Update same type function. Okay, and now comes the update, just deletion function. And what I should do here is get rid of the me2 probably. So delete function. Okay. So now I expect just simply all the functions to render additional JSX. So here is that, here is that, so it's the same thing, yeah. Delete something with only 2 elements. Okay. So I mean, this works as expected with the flows we were expecting. Okay. And now comes the part where we need to do the alternate bits. Okay. All right. Okay, so what we were doing is so the main logic was, like, besides that we introduced the while loop, but that's kind of self-explanatory if we're gonna go through an array, is this part. So in the first, if the index is 0, that means that we are just gonna proceed as we did previously. So we're gonna attach the newly created fiber to the child, but in every other scenario we have the previous fiber, which is referenced here in the previous iteration, and we just attach the newly created fiber as a sibling of the previous fiber. Now the problem is that in order to determine whether you have an alternate fiber, you need to kinda move the alternate fibers in the same manner. So it should be something like so if oh, we didn't even set up the initial alternate. Okay, so that's because I think yeah, so we need this bit because the alternate is undefined, so that's definitely the first step to make. So, and I expect this to modify the behavior of our programs. So now I think that with now being so I uncommented this line of code, and I think that actually the first element will be picked up and it's not gonna be recreated like as a whole new element, but actually it will be updated, I think. The whole thing gets updated, but I think with the wrong manner. Yeah, as you can see, it's kinda not good to put it that way, because now it says 44, instead it should say 11, and the elements that should be lined through are the second and the fourth. So with the alternate setup, now it doesn't create a new one, although it has no idea of what alternate is the exact pair with the fiber that is being created with the current cycle. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to step the alternate fibers, just simply iterate through them as we did with the fiber that is being created. So we need to check if there is an alternate, and we need to check if the alternate has a sibling, and we just need to set the new alternate to the alternate dot sibling. Okay, that's the first thing. But we also need to do something like so. If there is no sibling, if there is no sibling of the alternate stuff, then we need to make sure that in the next iteration the alternate will be set to null, because there will be cases when there is an alternate. So in the current iteration, it's fair to assume that it's an update method, so it will be getting to either this block or this block. But if we don't set it to null in this iteration, indicating that on the next one we don't have any more sibling, then in the next iteration it can assume that there is an alternate and wrongly will go to the first two branch. So we need to imperatively say that the alternate is null, so the next iteration will be probably a placement or something like that, but that's not an update. Okay, so we're getting there, but it's not quite good. Let's have a look. Why is that? Update with the same types. Right. Okay, because these things needs to be outside of this block, because these things needs to be done no matter what branch is being invoked. So we need to get these things out here, but we are losing the reference to the new fiber, as the new fiber has only the scope of the its statement, so we need to get rid of the instantiation, and we need to declare it as somewhere here. Okay, now we can have access to the new fiber. So fiber child, okay, that seems good. Okay, now it's better, somewhat better. So we have fiber the child, new fiber. We shouldn't set these, I suppose, here. Okay, so is that what we wanted? Let's check the JSX. So updates same type function, so color should go from red to blue, and that was like obvious, and the line through should go to the second and the fourth element, and all the text numbers should be duplicated. Okay, I think it's pretty much doing what we're expecting it to do. Okay, that's a good start. So now we covered the update with same type. Let's check the update with type mismatch. Oh, okay, that went smoother than I expected. So I presume that everything is alternate. Okay, that was much better than I. Okay, let's check if it's a section. So it's a section and everything is a section instead of a div. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, now comes the deletion function. I think it's definitely not gonna work. Yeah, okay, so the deletion needs some work. Okay, and I think that's actually the hardest part. So alternate we don't need. I just probably gonna copy the comment. I'm gonna comment everything just after we did the logic. Let alternate. If there is no children, simply return without creating a new fiber. Okay, we don't need that because the while loop takes care of that, obviously. So I can get rid of these. So if there is an alternate while there is no child, that means the DOM node got deleted. So that's what we need to cover. And the way to do that is actually gonna complicate things a lot. So because just think about that. The problem here is if you have this delete function, the children is an array of 2 elements, right? So we need to update 4 elements, but and I'm saying this because you need to delete 4, but you need to delete 2, and you you need to delete 2 elements, and you need to modify 1 here and 1 here, so that's 4 modifications, as you can see. The problem is that we have only 2 elements here, so the length number of elements will be 2, so you can iterate through 2 times, but you need to modify 4 different elements. So if we just simply leave this logic as it is, it's not gonna do its part. As you can see here, it didn't go well. So we need some logic here. We need to extend our logic to cover the cases when, okay, the newly created number of elements might be 2, but we need to do something with the alternate fibers, namely, like, we need to get rid of them. So it's either the number of elements is gone, or we have some alternate fibers. And the way to do so is like if alternate fiber, and this is covered in here, if you remember. So we can have an alternate fiber because of this code. So we have as we are doing the iteration, like it traverses 2 trees at the same time. Like it traverses the previous fiber structure, the alternates, and it traverses the elements from the elements, like serving as a blueprint to create new fibers, right? So it's either we rely on the elements, and the other method is we rely on the alternate fibers. And when you delete something, you definitely need to rely on the alternates, because it's not going to be present on the JSX, on the React elements. So yeah, so there will be a few cases. So these are the update methods, but we need to be sure that if you update something, you need to have the alternate fiber and you need to have the new element. Just think about it, because now that we put here the alternate, so it's going to get into another iteration, the while loop, if there is an alternate, but there will be cases when there will be this index and the number of elements, so the index will be greater than the number of elements, and if the index is greater than the number of elements, that means that the verified children at index will be undefined, and if it's undefined, the element.type will throw an error. So we need to make sure that there is an element here, so if element, and this is true for every update and placement. And this will be, so placement only happens if there is an element, but there is no alternate. Okay, and we need another case. We need another case when element, there is no element, only alternate. Okay, I think with modifying this should not break the existing code, so if I put it here, okay, that works as well, and delete something, it's not doing anything. The reason that it's not doing anything, because that's the block that catches the stuff. So if I just console log out, that where deletion should happen, but obviously no effects tag is being created on any fiber. So I expect that console not showing up with these, but if I put it delete something, that's deletion. Good, that's very good. And actually you see it 2 times, and that's a pretty good indication, because if you remember, we are deleting 2 JSX here, so there should be 2 fibers processed with the deletion branch. So I think that we're on a pretty good track. What we need to do is we need to follow the same logic what we had here, which is alternate effect tag deletion. Well, I think that's pretty much redundant. I think so. If there is an alternate but there is no element, we can assume that the yeah, it's every time in deletion. So we need to alternate effect and deletion, and we need to put fiber effects push which one is that fiber effects push alter. I think it should work. Let's comment these out, comment out the comment. Okay, give it a go. So what we are expecting to show up, we show up a text 1.1 without a line through, and the text 4.4 with a line through. Nothing happens, which is not good. Okay, so Let's console log things out. So the two things that needs to be deleted a text element and another text element. No, it's a child. It's a child. Okay, sorry. So it's both divs. That's interesting. Okay, console log the fiber out after we put the effects in there. Wow, we got a few effects in there. Okay, that's definitely not good. So we got a lot of what are these? These have effect placement, so we have problems with the placement. Okay. So child sibling. Ooh, it has a lot of effects. So it propagates the effects from where? Siblings. Okay. Woohoo. Okay, so it has a sibling even though we don't want it to have a sibling, right? Oh, okay, we definitely don't have that many siblings. So I think it assigns a sibling even though it does not want it. So maybe we need to else if, only if it has an element, maybe. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so the problem was that it put the sibling there even if there was no element to create, so we need to limit that branch. Okay, but now it seems we have just 7 effects, which is much more likely. So is that the JSX structure we wanted? Yes, 11 style. Yeah, okay, so now the deletion works as well. Okay, that's good. Now I just want to make sure that it didn't break the previous stuff. Okay, works fine, works fine, works fine. Okay, now I think now we're at the point where we can say that it works pretty much the way we want. We can get rid of the console logs. Nope. pending commit so fiber. Okay, okay, good stuff. So I'm gonna finish the video here, and the next one will be a refactoring session again, and see you there next time, and yeah, see you guys.